The Kansas City Chiefs wanted to become the first club to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls, so they onto the field with that goal in mind. Everyone was shocked by what transpired next, however, when the Philadelphia Eagles defeated them 40-22. Additionally, this game served as a harsh wake-up call for everyone who still held into the notion that the Chiefs are favored by the NFL. The Chiefs' front office is already taking action to improve the situation after Patrick Mahomes had one of the most difficult games of his career, and the calling was quite contentious. Could this first action, however, portend a future devoid of one of the team's most prominent players? There's a lot going on behind the scenes, so stay tuned. Let's get started, and remember to like this video. Super Bowl 59 totally disproved the notion that the NFL was rigged in favor of Kansas City. A lot of people thought the Chiefs received good calls all season long, but Sunday's game revealed otherwise. Some very dubious officiating decisions put Mahomes and company in a difficult position. After Eagles defensive lineman Jalen Carter grabbed Mahomes' face mask with both hands and roughly tossed him to the ground, defensive tackle Milton Williams forced a fumble on Mahomes in the fourth quarter, one of the most obvious moments. However, no flag was raised. This was brought up by Mike Florio of NBC Sports, who questioned how head referee Ron Torbert, who was staring straight at the action, could have missed it. The NFL rulebook states that even in cases when the degree of contact is questionable, this kind of play must be punished. According to Florio, the league need to put in place a real-time review system that would allow an officiating team member to use broadcast video to help on-field referees. It should be obvious, right? However, that missed call ultimately had no bearing on the result. Because they were just the superior squad that evening, the Eagles dominated. What is Kansas City's next course of action? Was this an isolated incident? Or does it indicate that significant adjustments are required? Leave a comment below with your opinions. In addition, the Chiefs are already taking action. The club added tight end Anthony Firkser to the practice squad a few days after the season ended in heartache. Although this may not seem like a big deal at first, any acquisition at tight end raises questions since Travis Kelce is reaching the conclusion of his illustrious career. Although Kelce is 35 years old and still among the league's finest, there are whispers that he is retiring. Kansas City, meantime, is getting ready for the future. Ever since joining the NFL in 2017, Firkser has played for the Jets, Titans, Falcons, Patriots, and Lions. It's interesting to note that he was a member of the practice squad during his short time with the Chiefs in 2017. He's returning for another chance now. For a guy who has never been a full-time starter but might provide depth at a crucial position, Firkser has amassed 115 catches for 1,237 yards and 5 touchdowns during his career. Does Kansas City covertly get ready for life without Kelce? Kelce had a comparatively quiet night in the Super Bowl, hauling in only 4 catches for 39 yards. He caught 97 passes for 1,338 yards and 3 touchdowns during the regular season. The Chiefs are obviously planning for the future, even if this deal won't completely transform the team. Let's examine in more detail why the Chiefs' Super Bowl 59 performance went so badly. It was clear from the first few minutes that something wasn't working. The Eagles played with unrelenting vigor, the defense was being overrun, and the offense seemed lost. The score was 24-0 before the audience had a chance to comprehend what was occurring. Kansas City's offense, however, seemed slow, uninspired, and unable to move the chains. The offensive line crumbled under pressure. Mahomes had trouble finding his receivers, and errors continued to mount. Fumbles, sacks, and even a devastating interception that drastically changed the game's momentum. Patrick Mahomes appearing uneasy is something we don't often see, but this time, number 15 seemed rattled. He was often pushed out of the pocket and sacked 3 times in 2 quarters. Due in part to the intense pressure from the Eagles' defense, he often made inaccurate passes when he did. A vicious interception was the most heartbreaking moment. Mahomes threw the ball straight into Eagles rookie Cooper DeJean's hands while attempting to make contact with rookie wide receiver Rashee Rice. DeJean returned the pass for a defensive touchdown. There was a startled stillness among the Chiefs supporters in the stadium. It was a stomach hit. Social media went crazy. Many questioned if this was Mahomes' worst game of his career, and comparisons to Tom Brady's worst Super Bowl performance were common. The defense suffered just as much as the offense did. Jalen Hurts easily found his targets and performed like an MVP. He hit A.J. Brown in the end zone with a precise pass in the second quarter, extending the Eagles' advantage even further. Because the Chiefs' defensive backs seemed disoriented, simple completions were made all over the field. Then, like clockwork, Hurts ran a quarterback sneak for another score at the 1-yard line, the identical play that plagued Kansas City in Super Bowl 57. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, attempted adjustments, but to no avail. The Eagles' potent attack was just too much for the Chiefs to handle. The events that followed further fueled Chiefs' Kingdom's already growing concerns. Incensed with the inconsistent refereeing, Spagnuolo erupted on the sidelines after a contentious personal foul on Nick Bolton. He was seen on tape yelling in exasperation before covering his face with his hands, capturing the feelings of every Chiefs supporter at the time. Kansas City has performed miracles before. They lost to the 49ers by 10 points in the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 54, yet they prevailed. The hole seemed deeper, however, this time. Mahomes needed to recapture his magic, the defense needed stops, and the offense needed to wake up. What was said in the locker room between Mahomes and Andy Reid? Could they return in the second half with a different plan? I now turn to the Chiefs supporters. Was this Super Bowl a lost cause, or do you still think there may be a comeback? Let's talk after you leave a comment. Additionally, remember to share this video with your fellow Chiefs supporters, like it, and subscribe to the channel. Kansas City has important choices to make as the offseason gets underway. We'll have to wait and see. Chiefs, let's go.